Today we'll be working on skills 2. A. The Menendez family held a family reunion in a park by Lake Conroe. 2/8 of the family members were men, 3/8 of the family members were women, the rest of the family members were children. Which statement is not true? So we have to find out which statement is not true. So we're looking for the one that is not true. So we're going to do this. So this is yes, and this is no. So we're going to look for the no. All right, so we know that 2/8 of the family members were men, 3/8 of the family members were women, and the rest of the family members were children. So that means 2/8. So we go, make sure these are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 parts, so there are 8. So I know 2/8. So from here, 1/8, 2/8 to here, these were the men. 2/8 were men. So from here to here, 3/8 of the family members were women. So we go 1, 2, 3/8. So from here to here, so 3/8 of the family members were women. And the rest were children. So from here to here, these were the children. All right, if we're looking for the one that is not true, it says more than half of the family members were children. So if these are 8, half of them is 4/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So more than half of the family members were children. So that would mean the children would have to have more than 4/8. They only have 3/8. So this one is not true. So that one could be our answer. The number of adults at the reunion was greater than the number of children. So these two were the adults. The women and the men were the adults. So we have 3/8, and on this side we have 5/8. So 5/8 is greater than 3/8. So this one is true. The amount of adults are greater than the number of children. More than half of the family members were adults. Remember, this is half right here. So more than half were adults. That is true. Yes, that's true. Less than half of the family members were women. So half is 4/8. We only had 3/8 of the family members who were women, so this is true. So we're looking for the one that is not true. So the answer is A. A is the only one that is not true. Daniela, Taylor, and Kendra took turns working at their lemonade stand. Daniela worked 4/10 of the time at the lemonade stand. Taylor worked 2/10 of the time at the lemonade stand. Kendra worked the rest of the time at the lemonade stand. Which statement is not true? So again, we're looking for the one that is not true. So we know that Daniela worked 4/10 of the time. Taylor worked 2/10 of the time. And the rest of the time, Kendra worked. All right, so we have to make sure this line is into 10 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these are tens. So we know 4/10 was Daniela. So I go 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. So Daniela worked 4/10. Now Taylor worked 2/10, 1/10, 2/10. And the rest of the time, it was Kendra. So the rest of the time was Kendra. So Daniela worked 4 tenths, 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. Tyler worked 2. So that means Kendra worked 1, 2, 3, 4. So Kendra was 4 tenths. Right, so we're looking for the one that is not true. That was Kendra. This was Tyler. And this was Daniela. So Daniela and Kendra worked the same amount of time at the lemonade stand. So Daniela and Kendra, they both worked 4 tenths. So this one is true. So this one cannot be my answer. I'm looking for the one that is not true. Kendra worked less than half of the time at the lemonade stand. So these are broken up into tens. Half of 10 is 5. So Kendra says Kendra worked less than half the time. So she worked 4 tenths. So 4 tenths is less than 5 tenths. So this one is true. So it can't be our answer. We're looking for the not true. Kendra worked longer than Daniela at the lemonade stand. And Effie told us that they worked the same time. They did work the same time. Kendra did not work longer than Daniela. They worked the same amount of time. So this one could be my answer. So I'm going to put my eyes on that one. Like, each girl worked less than half of the time at the lemonade stand. Yes, they all worked less than 5 tenths. So this one is true. It can't be my answer. So my answer is going to be H. C. Annalisa gathered her rock collection. Annalisa will give 1/4 of her collection to her sister. Annalisa will give 5/8 of her collection to her brother. Which statement is true? So we want to know which statement is true. So we know Annalisa will give 1/4 of her collection to her sister, and she will give 5/8 of her collection to her brother. Now, here we have two different denominators. We have 1/4 and 5/8. We need to figure out how to make this 1/4 be an eighth, or this eighth be into fourth. But it'd be easier to make that 1/4 into 8. So we're going to convert 1/4. If we multiply it times 2, so we go times 2 in the numerator and times 2 in the denominator, we can change our numerator and our denominator. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. So now I've changed it to 8. So 1/4 is the same as 2/8. So now I can figure out how much is she going to give to her sister and how much she's going to give to her brother. So first we have to make sure we have 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 parts. Now she's going to give 1/4 or 2/8 to her sister. So I go 1, 2. This is for her sister. Now she's going to give her brother 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is for her brother. And she's going to have 1/8 left. So 2/8 are for her sister. 5/8 are for her brother. And she's going to have 1/8 left. Says Annalisa will have more than half of her collection left. We said she's only going to have 1 left. That's not more than half. 4 is half, so she would have to have more than 4/8 left. So the answer A cannot be my answer. Annalisa will give her brother more than half of her collection. So half of 8 is 4. So 4/8 is half of her collection. She's going to give her brother 5/8. So 5/8 is greater than 4/8. So this one is true. She's going to give her brother more than half of her collection because 4/8 is half of it. And she's going to give her 5/8. So 5/8 is greater than 4/8. So that one is true. I can keep my eyes on this one. Annalisa will have exactly half of her collection left. We said she's only going to have 1/8. Half of the collection would be 4/8, so she's not going to have 4/8. That one is not true. Annalisa will give her sister more than half of her collection. She's only giving her sister 2/8. That's not more than 4/8. So it can't be D. My answer is B. D. Michael shared a package of balloons with his friends for a water balloon fight. Michael gave 1/3 of the balloons to Dwight. Michael gave 1/6 of the balloons to Angela. Which statement is true? So we're trying to find a statement that is true. We know that he gave 1/3 of the balloons to Dwight and 1/6 of the balloons to Angela. All right, again, we have two different denominators, so we have to change this 1/3 into a 6. So I have 1/3. So what I can do is multiply times 2 because I know 3 times 2 equals 6. So times 2. If I multiply the denominator by 2, I have to do the same to the numerator. So 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So I know he gave Dwight 2/6 and he gave Angela 1/6. So I have to make sure I have 6 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are 6. I know that 1/3 is the same as 2/6. So 2/6 of the balloons were given to Dwight. And 1/6 was given to Angela. So these were Dwight's balloons. And these were Angela's balloons. Let's see which one is true. Michael gave more than half of her balloons to Dwight. So we have to know what half is. So if our denominator is 6, half of 6 is 3. So 3/6 would be half. So I read it again. Michael gave more than half of the balloons to Dwight. So did he give Dwight more than 3/6? We know he gave Dwight 2/6. So 2/6 is not more than 3/6. So this one is not true. Michael had exactly half of the balloons left. Remember, half of the balloon is 3/6. So this was what left over. We have 1, 2, 3. Yes, they had 3/6. This one is true, so we're going to keep an eye on that one. Michael gave more than half of the balloons to Angela. She gave Angela 1/6. That's not more than 3/6. So it can't be H. Michael had less than half of the balloons left. He had exactly half of the balloons left. 1, 2, 3, 3/6. So this is not true. My answer would be G.